Welcome to the program, The Clerics. This is a platform on which clerics are brought together to discuss issues, pressing issues in the society with a view to proffering genuine solutions to our problems. I am Mukhtar Jarmato, and together with our two very important guests, we shall be discussing today's topic, which is religion as a tool for conflict resolution. Before we go into the crux of the discussion, I will want to introduce our very important guest. Let me start with Pastor Mike Akor, who is the pastor of House on the Rock, Bauchi. So you're welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Also, we have Malam Alihu Garba, who is the Secretary, Education and Youth Development Committee of the Jamaatul Nasrul Islam. You are most welcome.
Thank you.
Now, going into the discussion proper, we would want to hear your opinions regarding conflict resolution on both sides of our two very important regions. Now, to start with you, Pastor, what is conflict resolution in Christian perspective?
All right. I will say conflict in general simply means disagreement or argument about a particular issue, which most times comes from maybe differences in understanding and knowledge. And I strongly believe that that is basically where I can define conflict from my own perspective.
Okay, Malam Ali Garba, coming down to you. Now, conflict, peace is not the absence of war. Rather, it is the ability to be able to resolve issues whenever they arise. How do you see conflict from Islamic perspective?
So, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The word conflict, as all agree, is a Greek word. In Islam, we call it al-ikhtilaf, that is misunderstanding between two parties or between even yourself, or two individual parties. So conflict in Islam, it means misunderstanding between number one and number two, or A and B. That means by conflicts in Islam.
Okay. Pastor Akor, from your submissions, from the submissions of both of you, we have come to understand that conflict is simply misunderstanding, and this misunderstanding conflict could be intrapersonal. It could also be interpersonal. Now, what do you think are the causes of conflict?
All right, I strongly believe, let me say about 3 causes of conflict. Number 1, I believe poor communication, when things are not properly understood the way they are meant to be communicated. Number 2, misunderstanding in terms of particularly about practices or beliefs of the other party. Definitely there will be conflict. And number 3, it could be personal differences. Just the way we describe that conflict also could be between 2 parties or between yourself. So it could be personal differences, it could be misunderstanding in terms of beliefs, in terms of principles, in terms of values, and also it could be poor communication.
Thank you for that response. Malam Ali Garba, Pastor Akor just mentioned miscommunication as one of the causes of conflict. How do you see that from the Islamic perspective? Definitely, we know that communication is key in every aspect of human life. How would you want to, discuss this issue of misinformation?
Yeah, miscommunication in Islamic perspective. This reminds me the tradition of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with command us to be truthfulness always in our talk. What we say, we have to be truth in everything we are going to say. That means the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I was sent to perfect the good characters. That giving the good truthfulness in your talk is among the good character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So you have to, every Muslim in the community, in everywhere, you have to emulate the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he said, what he did, and everything of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes.
Thank you. Now, Pastor Akor, it is very important that we discuss this issue of miscommunication, because we are aware that in the society today we have this problem of rumor mongering, and even sometimes, the spread of fake news. Now, how do you look at this from Christian perspective? How can this be stopped? This issue of rumor mongering and even the spread of fake news.
First of all, I want to say it's more personal than religious, in the sense that you only listen to what your ear wants you to listen to. In the sense that, number one, especially with the advent of social media, where it is easy to diverge informations to various people, and these informations most times are not verified. They do not go through proper scrutiny before it comes out. So first of all, it's about you knowing what you're looking for and the sources where you are getting this information from. If not, you will be feeding on fake news, and that will cause much more trouble or harm to the society from you. So I strongly believe that, number one, you should scrutinize where you get your news or your source from. Check the social media. Are they for real? Are they people who you can trust? Filter them to know if their sources if there are people you can depend on for you to get truth from them. Thank you.
Okay. Malam Alihu Garba, how does Islam see fake news, or if you like, rumor mongering?
In Islam doesn't allow us to, when you come across any information, firstly you have to check the information is authentic or not. Don't act on any information that is not verified for you. That information is authentic. So Islam doesn't allow any person to take any action on any information, be it in social media, be it verbal, be it anywhere you come across with information. Don't act with it on it except you verify, is the information authentic before you act. That is the rule of Islam on any information. That's all.
Thank you so much. Now, Pastor, what roles do religions play in conflict resolution? Because sometimes, if you look at it, you come to realize that most crises evolve on the lines of religion. Now, the expectation is that both the two religions, kind of try to preach peace, but then you see that most crises come as a result of religious differences. Now, what role, as I've earlier asked, can religions play in conflict resolution?
Um, well, in answering that question, I believe that the vast body of literature and evidence strongly shows that religion plays a vital role in both preventing and resolving conflicts and in peace building also. I strongly believe that religious individuals or religious organizations, religious leaders play an important role as source of conflict for conflict resolution, and where they have to provide or bring about warnings of conflict, where they have to provide talks on peace building, national development to avoid conflict, so that before conflict is erupted, they contribute to advocacy and give signs of early warnings of conflict, whereby they talk to their followers and ensure that that conflict does not in turn to something else where we have violence and war breaking out.
Thank you. Malam Ali Garba, this is a very important question. I want you to also answer it from Islamic perspective. What roles, the same question, what roles do religions play in conflict resolution?
The religious bodies play important and vital role in managing or resolution to the conflicts, because they are the religious bodies expect, for example, we have imams and pastors. They are the leaders in the community. All the individuals in the community are listening, either the imam or the pastor. So they have the very important role to play in resolving the conflicts, because the community respect them. They can be the mediators between the two parties, even either the husband and the wife, the two different individuals. They are respecting the imams and the pastors. So the religious bodies have a vital role in managing the in conflict resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Pastor, both of you talked about the religious leaders, having the power or having the respect to be able to resolve conflicts in society. Now, do you see, the coming together of both Islamic and Christian clerics, on a particular platform? Because I know that things like that have happened where you see a committee of both stakeholders coming together, to act as one organ in resolving conflicts where they exist. Do you see that as a very good way of, finding amicable solutions to conflicts in our societies?
I strongly feel that that is one of the best way that you can find solutions to conflict. Knowing that these are leaders, and that means they have followers. So when these leaders can come together and find best solution to bring an end to a particular conflict, it will go a long way to provide peace within both parties. Like he rightly say, either within or outside or in between both religions. So I think the religious leaders play a very vital and major role in ensuring peace. Thank you.
Malam Ali Garba, there is this feeling that sometimes those people who actually, perpetrate these acts of conflict, causing, religious or social, confusion in the society, some of them do not even have enough knowledge of the religion they feel they are representing. Now, what call will you make to citizens to, go out in search of knowledge so that they can have enough knowledge of the religion they even feel that they are representing when they do not have, when they do not know it very well? Now, what call will you make on such kind of people?
In Islam, seeking knowledge is compulsory. The tradition of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Talabul ilm faridatun walau bisin." Uh, for any Muslim, it's compulsory for him to seek knowledge, even if he trek from here to China, as the tradition said. Even if he trek by his leg from here to China, it's compulsory for him to seek knowledge for his religion. That is why Prophet also told us, uh, don't even worship the Almighty Allah unless you know how to worship Him. Don't worship unless you know how to worship the Almighty Allah. Even the worship, even the ibadat, the main pillars of Islam. For example, prayer is one of them. Fasting is one of them. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us, don't do fasting, don't do prayers unless you know how to pray, unless you know how to fast. So seeking knowledge in Islam is compulsory. It's compulsory. It's compulsory. Don't do anything without the knowledge of it. That is in Islam.
So, still on Malam Ali Garba,
Yes.
what then, with what you have said, what call will you make on those who do not know the religion or feel that they are representing the religion and then they cause, conflicts in the society?
We have two different individuals I accept. The first one, he doesn't know anything and he accepts he don't know. And the second one, he doesn't know and he didn't accept he don't know. So I'm calling to especially our youth, please don't say anything unless you have at least a little knowledge about it, especially the news. Don't allow anyone to use you in making fake news or anything that is not authentic. I'm calling on our youth, especially the Muslim youth. Don't use your member, don't use your lecture hall, don't use your anything as a way for giving any rumors or anything that is not authentic. Thank you.
Thank you. Pastor, can you please respond on the same?
Okay. I would like to quote from the Bible in John chapter 8, verse 32. About Jesus speaking, he said that you shall know the truth, and this truth shall set you free. Christianity is big about truth, and we advocate that every believer should be able to have a Bible, to be able to read the Bible for themselves, so that somebody does not misinterpret what has been written in the Word of God, and then you run with what is wrong. And so it is expedient that you know the Word of God for yourself. You gain knowledge for yourself. And if I must bring it into our discourse today, it is very, very important that your source of information, you must check it. You must know that it is for real. It is not fake. It's not just rumor mongering. If you are not sure of it, then don't act on it. It's very, very simple. If you're not sure of it, then don't act on it. But it is very, very important that you seek knowledge first. We say knowledge is power. So it is very, very important that we seek knowledge, and nobody can ride on you or lie to you or make you do what you're not supposed to do because you have the wrong knowledge. So it is very big, and we'd like to advise the youth also. Most importantly, you know you got the energy, you got the time, and let no man abuse your youth or your youthful age by lying to you or telling you to take out violence or proposing violence to you or war to you. There is nothing big on that. So it is very, very important that you stand for the truth, you represent the truth, and you walk by the truth.
Thank you, Pastor. Still, on you. This issue of communication, information, misinformation, and what have you is very important because it's one of the major problems we have now in the society, and that is why it is very important we discuss it, exhaustively in this program today. Now, if you look at the whole issue of this rumor and fake news and what have you, you come to understand that sometimes educated people sit down, fabricate fake news, and strategically release it to the society simply to achieve their selfish ends. Now, how does Christian religion, see these kind of people, and what call will you make on them to change their ways?
Well, I believe strongly what you just said is true, because evil thrives. Everything, John Maxwell would say, everything rises and falls on leadership. And when certain privileged people sit and decide so that they could earn or they could benefit from a particular move, they sit, they do that, and try to seek to deceive others to follow, thereby bringing conflict within our nation or within our society or within our families. Now, I would like to suggest that I believe on all fronts there are leaders. There are leaders. Whenever you see a news bulletin or something that you are not sure of, or that you believe that this is to incite evil or violence, I believe that everyone has a leader over them, and also a call should be made. And I believe that is how conflict resolution comes about, where leaders sit and look at these things and say, look, we cannot go this way or we cannot go that way. I think my basic stay is this: stay on the truth. Everyone is responsible for the truth. Everyone is responsible for the truth. Stay on the truth. Talk to your leaders. Ensure that they are right. They are saying the right things, and follow. And I believe that as we as leaders come together to seek peace and unity and foster national development, I believe that all this can be curbed. I believe that all this can be curbed, and people will not be able to fashion evil against the nation, against our society. Thank you.
Thank you. Still on you, Pastor Mike, what call will you make on those people who deliberately manufacture fake news and disseminate it?
Now, they must understand that, and let me use our nation example for now. We only have one nation, and that is Nigeria. We do not have any other home. We do not have a country to call our own. And I like to use this medium to speak to as many people who sit down to fabricate fake news to ensure that violence spring up here and there. The truth is this is your home. Your children, no matter where they go to, will not have a place to call home than Nigeria. And it is very, very important and paramount at this time that we all come together and make Nigeria great again. The truth is this: whatever you do today, posterity will speak. It might not be today, 10 years from now, your children might have to pay for it. So it is important that every of our thoughts, every of our action seeks to drive towards nation building and nation development. Thank you.
Thank you. Malam, Alihu, Garba, the same question.
Yes.
What is your call, to those who sit down, the educated, knowledgeable people who sit down to fabricate fake news and strategically disseminate it into the society simply to cause confusion because they have one or two things to achieve at the end of it all?
Yes, I strongly agree that some educated people use fake news just to achieve what they want, be it politically or something else. So they are telling the people wrong. They are always preaching the right and they are doing wrong. That is why the Quran says, "Atamuruna an-nas bil birri wa tansawna anfusakum." Are you telling the people to do right and you are doing wrong? What they are doing is very wrong. So don't use your knowledge or you are something else in telling the people to do right and you are doing wrong. This is very wrong in Islam. This is very wrong in Islam. That is why in Islam, when you hear anything, the Quran said, وَإِنْ جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. If you hear something from anyone else, please check the information first. Who is the person who gave you the information? From where he sources his information? Check it first before you act on it. Anyone who comes, who tell you anything, the Islam consider that person as individual that come with something new. So don't act on something new unless you verify it. That is the ruling of Islam on any news, and any fake news or anything that is new to you. That is.
Thank you. Pastor, we have discussed so much about the causes of conflict. Now let's move over to the other side. When it has already, occurred, when there is dispute, when there is disagreement. Now, what ways do you think can be, used to be able to bring everybody to the table and ensure a successful negotiation?
All right. Let me talk about steps to conflict resolution. I believe the first step to conflict resolution is for you to define the source of this conflict. The moment you notice, why is this happening? Where is it coming from? The next thing is to bring both parties to a conclusion, to a table where they begin to sit and prefer solutions, best solutions towards resolving this conflict. And I believe when you bring them together, the next step is to begin to identify solution that both of them can live with, where you begin to ask both sides, what is the best solution, where is the common ground that they can sit on and make an agreement, where they can agree on a particular thing, and of utmost importance, you start to discuss the responsibility of both parties to sustain what they have agreed. Because it is another thing for you to sit, it's another thing for you to agree, but more so, there are responsibilities that come from both parties to see that this agreement takes place and this conflict does not arise any longer. Thank you.
Thank you. Malam Garba, the pastor just finished talking about bringing everybody to the table, arriving at a particular, position. But then for the parties to be able to fulfill their sides of the agreement in order to ensure, continuous peace is something that he feels, is difficult. It's something that, both parties must be serious about in order to achieve the set objective. Now, how do you see Islamically? How do you see that can be achieved? That is to say, what ways can be used to ensure that both parties actually fulfill their sides of the agreement in order to ensure lasting peace?
Yes, I agree with the pastor, but to have a lasting peace, the first step, we have to understand our differences, be it religious differences or anything. If I understand that I am a Muslim and the pastor is a Christian, the way we are dressing is different, the way we are eating, maybe our food is different, the way we are living, some ways in our living is different. Let us understand our differences and how to manage these differences. If you manage our differences, I think the lasting solution for conflict, any conflict will be resolved amicably without any without any difficulty. Let's understand our differences first and manage these differences. I'm going to use this opportunity to call on our Muslim brothers and sisters, especially the youth, to seek knowledge. The Prophet always teaches us the akhlaq, the character, the good character. How are we going to use our akhlaq? Even the Prophet ﷺ stated that you have three different of neighbors. The one that is you are blood related with, and he is your neighbor, and he is a Muslim. The second one, the one that you are not blood related, and he is your neighbor. The third one, the one that is he is not your blood related, he is a Christian or any other, his religion is different from yours, and he is your neighbor. All these kind of neighbors, the Islam teaches us how to come together with them and how to associate ourselves with them. So let us precisely take our teaching of Islam. Islam is peace. Islam is total submission to the will of Allah.
I'd like to use this opportunity, first of all, thank you for having me in the studio today. But I'd like to still say that Christianity is big on peace and love. And I believe that in a place of peace and love, I believe that we can do much more, especially where our country is. I believe that if we seek to understand or bring conflict resolution to play, where we dialogue, if there's any challenge on any corners, we sit down together, we talk about it and provide solutions. I believe that it will help our nations to go a long way, and also it will give us a home, a country where we can call our home, and our children will grow in peace. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much for finding time to be in our studios today. We are particularly grateful, and we do hope that when next we invite you, you will graciously accept our invitation. On behalf of our production crew, I want to thank you once again for coming. We are particularly grateful.
Thank you.
Oh my god. It's so sax on the beat.